afternoon. Welcome to Nirmal, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Hiral Dadia. We have with us Anish Rankawat, Senior Research Analyst at Nirmal joining in. Anish, a very good morning. My first question coming to you is, last couple of months have been really muted with regards to where auto sales are concerned. There has been disruption again with regards to where production goes. Similarly, in terms of demand as well, we've seen, probably nothing, at least in the month of April and May. And slowly, steadily, it's been picking up now. What are the trends indicating?
Hi, good morning to you as well. As you rightly said, April, May were kind of washout and write-offs. I think June is looking much better comparatively. I think we will see a significant improvement coming. I think there'll be improvement on both the fronts. So starting with supply, a lot of the companies are operating at anywhere between 60 to 80% of their levels, pre-COVID levels. A lot of the supply side issues have also, or supply side providers or vendors have also started delivering. I think the hiccup would be Chinese imports, where I think there is still some roadblocks, and I think probably that will take some time to recover. Coming to demand side, I think FADA has come up with a statement that 80% of dealers are operating. A lot of the OEM managements have also given commentaries around it, saying that around 80 to 90% of their dealerships are open. So that side of channel is clear. Logistics could remain a problem because of driver availability. I think that will take some time to come back to normal. So I think all in all, it looks much better month. On a year-on-year basis, I think there will still be a degrowth comparatively, but on a sequential basis, we can see a significant improvement coming in all the segments, barring CVs, I guess. So all the other segments are showing the positive cues of improvement in the demand and dispatches.
Right. So overall, what is the month of June actually indicating if you have to look at different segments?
So I think it's quite evident that rural and semi-urban is doing very well. There are multiple reasons why this has been happening. I think the primary reason is a good output that we saw in the last crop, and that and government procuring that output. I think that is getting or giving cash in the hand of farmers, and farm income, I think, is expected to grow about, say, 13%, 12 to 13% for the full year of FY20. We're still waiting for official figures, but that is getting converted into cash in hand. Now, what happens in rural is rural population is more prone to spend that cash as soon as they get it. So that consumption is happening, that spending is happening, and we can see that in rural, people are buying tractors. We are getting indications of rural people buying two-wheelers as well. So on the lower CC segment, we see much more demand coming up, and I think the lower or the smaller car segment is also doing pretty well. So these are doing very well. So coming to numbers, I think tractors are definitely looking very strong. I'm not expecting any higher than a low single-digit kind of a decline for the segment. The next segment that is doing well is motorcycles. I think 35 to 40% kind of a decline is expected, which is better than what has happened in last few months. The next in line would be passenger vehicles, probably around 45 to 50% kind of a degrowth for the whole segment. Three-wheelers following that could see higher degrowth because a lot of the urban and semi-urban regions, we see people are reluctant to get into three-wheelers for commuting purpose because of COVID-related safeguarding issues, and they want to keep distance and also. Again, in urban regions, we don't see much movement of three-wheelers happening. So three-wheelers are probably a lot more hit because of that. And we see about, say, 60 to 70% kind of a degrowth in that. The least or the last segment that we see any kind of improvement happening is CVs. So CVs, again, it's impacted by oversupply and lower capacity utilization. So these, because of these reasons, I think CV decline would be on a higher side. So MHCVs, I think I wouldn't be surprised if they are down by 90% on a year-on-year basis.
Right. So now, if you're looking at individual segments as well, Anish, from the passenger vehicle space, if you could just take us through as to which could probably outperform and which could be the worst in terms of companies.
Right. So again, I mean, I think the story is rural and small cars. So the first name that comes when you talk about cars is Maruti Suzuki. They are strong in car segment. They're strong in rural. So I think 35% of the sales, almost 35% is coming from rural. And I think they are the only player left in small cars predominantly. So I think Maruti should be the prime beneficiary of the whole rural story that is getting developed. The others would be Hyundai, which comes next, which is the next in terms of penetration levels as well, and they have a decent portfolio in the compact segment as well. So I think they would be the next to get benefited. Third would be M&M. So I think rural story augurs well for its Bolero and Scorpio range. I think we've had commentaries from dealers, FADA associates, and from the management as well, that these two models are actually getting a lot of traction from that side of the geography. So I think these three would be the primary beneficiaries. I think all the others will fall behind.
Right. And similarly, what's the trend that you're picking up for the two-wheeler space?
Two-wheelers, again, we see Hero doing very well because I think 50% of its sales are coming from rural. So that is a significant number, and they have a good penetration. They have the best penetration, and obviously they are the market leaders in the 100 to 125cc motorcycle segment, where we think a lot of demand would be falling. So Hero definitely is looking better. The next would be Bajaj Auto. I think they have good lower cc motorcycle range. Plus, the export demand will also sustain because Africa is looking much better. The oil prices have come back to a level where we don't see much impact happening in the geographies which are really depending on oil economy. And the virus situation is also comparatively better in Africa, and hence we haven't seen a very stringent lockdown happening in that region. So I think the demand from Africa is very strong, and that will benefit Bajaj Auto. So I think these two players would be doing better in two-wheelers.
Right. And overall as well, Anish, right now, if you go to see with what's happening, we are seeing that pent-up demand that's coming back right now, slowly, steadily. But do you think we will be back to those normal levels sooner than later? Or do you think it's going to take a while to get back to normalcy?
I think I'd like to know your definition of normal. So are you talking about pre-COVID normal or normal
pre-COVID.
of
Number
FY18?
one is pre-COVID normal.
So pre-COVID normal, I think in small cars and motorcycles, there is a good chance can come back around just after monsoon period, so when the festivals will start. So obviously we'll see good dispatch happening from the company. So wholesale numbers should definitely look good, but retail trends will come only after, say, September end or mid-October or so. So we can get an idea what happens there. But I think these two segments will do better and probably should see revival earlier and get to normalcy probably around, say, September, October time. The other segments will take time. The segment that I forgot, actually, tractors, I think are actually looking to come back to normal. So they're already at a decent level. So I think these are the sectors or segments which will do better.
Right. And do you think there is a possibility that the discounting trend could be higher from here on? Number one, to clear inventory. Number two, to create demand.
So discounting, I think, as a trend has been higher for last
Correct.
12 to 18 months. Um, we don't see companies holding back. I mean, especially the likes of passenger vehicles. I mean, I think the discountings are pretty at a pretty decent level, Maruti and Hyundai and all. I think overall benefits that you get from say exchange bonus or corporate bonus and discounts is anywhere between say 40 to 50,000 on a small to medium car, so compact car segment we are talking about. So I think these kind of discounting trends will remain uh, uh, till we enter into the festival season, where they might want to change their strategy as per whatever is happening on ground. Even in two wheelers, we are seeing the other aspect that companies are working on is financing. So I think in these economically stressed times, I think financing will play a bigger role. So a lot of these companies, passenger vehicles and two-wheeler companies, are tying up with finance NBFCs and banks to come up with customized products which are demographic based or geography based to target more specifically and more have more focus on getting the demand from this financing side of whatever the schemes are coming up. So I think that's where a lot of activity is happening, and that's where I think a lot of the focus will be this year, I guess.
Right. So that's with regards to where discounting trends as well as June auto sales numbers are concerned. But thank you, Anish. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. And I hope the numbers seem to be good as well. I think numbers have already started pouring in as we speak. You already have Escorts, which has reported their numbers right now, and it's at around 10,851. That's the number that we're looking at. I think, and it seems slightly better than what the street was estimating as well.
Yes.
Right. All right. Thanks a lot, Anish, for
Thanks
joining.
for having me. Thanks.